Well, here we are, my last video of 2022, and I thought I'd take the time to look back at some of the highs and lows, the good and bad of the past 12 months. And what a year hasn't been a stellar year for sure, and highlights have definitely been sparse, but there are a few things to celebrate. We had, for example, the most exciting Tour de France ever. We had more bikes being launched, COVID supply issue getting behind us a little bit, and COVID restrictions being eased, allowing most of us to get out and about and do bike races, competitions, events and other self-planned adventures. So a bit more normality for most of us to get back to the enjoyment and freedom that cycling offers so many of us. Let's start this video with one of the biggest losers of the past 12 months and the sad demise of the mid-range mechanical group set. To be fair, the writing has been on the wall for mechanical shifting group set for a few years now, with the rise in popularity of electronic group sets, namely Shimano Di2 and SRAM E-Tap axles being the two main players and really threatening the future of the mechanical group set. But the final nail in the coffin, it seems, was the launch of Shimano 105 Di2 electronic group set. Now it's interesting because for years and years, people have been asking for a Shimano 105 Di2 group set, a lower cost, more affordable entry into the world of electronic shifting. But when it arrived, well, the reaction was anything but positive and definitely very negative. And I think there are two reasons why. The price was very high for a start and definitely didn't have that affordable price point that you expect of a 105 branded group set. And the other issue was no announcement or confirmation of the future of 105 as a mechanical group set. And we've no idea whether Shimano is planning to launch a new 105 mechanical. I've talked about it in my prediction video linked above in case you missed that. But it does appear if you want a mechanical group set, now it's time to buy one before they possibly go extinct. Which personally is a sad thing indeed, because as much as I love electronic shifting, I do also love mechanical shifting, and I prefer to see both continue into the future side by side, offering the option for electronic or mechanical at different price points to suit all flavours of cycling. It's also been a bad year for product recalls, and mostly in a centre around the modern trend for integration, with internal cable routing being very popular, with handlebars and stems that route the cables inside the frame around the headset. And we've seen various different solutions to this problem, I guess, of packaging all cables inside the frame and the fork over the last few years. Some good and some not so good. And there have been quite a few high profile product recalls, and compromises are being made in that pursuit of clean lines and a bit more aero to put all the cables inside a frame. But thankfully there are bikes on the market that haven't had any recalls or any known problems so far, but definitely something to be aware of, and hopefully the bike manufacturer can put more quality control in place to ensure there is never any reason for a recall. It's not been a good year for bike prices or supply. The beginning of 2022 definitely saw the hangover from the COVID lockdown causing supply issues of new bikes and also bike parts as well. And sadly, the price of new bikes has gone up as well. The reason being blamed on the price of raw materials, shipping costs, labour costs, other logistics, shipping containers, the really complex supply chain with prices going up at every step of that complex supply chain, causing bikes on the bike shop showroom to go up in price. But as we head towards the end of the year, it appears the switch is happening. That supply is getting better and prices might hopefully come down. And there's lots of talk now and reports out on the internet about oversupply and overstock of bikes and components and too much inventory at bike distributors and bike shops, which might lead to some adjustment of prices going forward. Finger crossed on that one for sure. It's definitely been a better year for new bike launches, and we've had a flurry of updates to very popular models over the past 12 months and good additions in the road, gravel and mountain bike categories. And here at Just Ride Bikes, I've had the opportunity to ride a wide variety of bikes, from retro steel road bikes to amazing suspension gravel bikes, super capable mountain bikes and just really fine road bikes, proving there's still room for technical innovation and progress in all the major bike categories. And we had some long overdue updates to some very popular road bikes, namely the Trek Madone and Giant Propel Aero race bikes. we had the Cannondale Synapse Endurance Road Bike, and of course the Canyon Ultimate, and then not forgetting the Carnago C68, which moved the Carnago C Series in a very future and bright direction. It's also been an interesting and exciting year for Chinese bike brands, and I reviewed a few interesting examples here at Just Ride Bikes, and hopefully I'll do more in 2023. So there was a Yolio R12 Aero race bike, a brand that used to manufacture bike frames for other brands, but is now trying to stand up on their own 2 feet and market themselves as their own brand, so a manufacturer and a bike brand, and I'm really impressed with that Yolio R12. Not the cheapest in the world, but pretty good value for money, and it rode extremely well too, and you see that video linked up above and down below. And then in the wheel space, we're seeing a wide variety of carbon wheels at all sorts of price points, and Chinese brands are definitely doing some interesting things in this space. And I rode and reviewed the Windspace carbon fiber wheels with carbon fiber spokes, and was very impressed with their performance and their price, and you see that review linked down below. And my impressions of those products was very good. So off the basis of that, and given the feedback I'm seeing from all of you predicting the rise in popularity of Chinese brands, which offer more value for money, or low prices anyway, than some of the more mainstream brands where prices are definitely going sky high, it has to be said, I will review more in 2023. So let me know what wheels, frames and group sets you want me to review next year, but leave a comment down below. But I can definitely see more people in the know anyway, going to a Chinese brand, trying to reduce their cost of cycling or buying a new bike or upgrading a bike by going to those alternative Chinese brands, and I can see them becoming a lot more popular over the next 5 or 10 years. In the same way we see it in the car world, with the likes of Hyundai and Kia becoming really popular to more mainstream rivals. It's also been a better year for traveling, doing bike races, events, competitions, adventures, bikepacking, whatever it might be. And here at Just Ride Bikes, I took part in some great events over the past 12 months. I started by travelling out to Nice in the south of France to ride one of the most famous climbs in the world, the Col de la Madone, made famous by Lance Armstrong. See that video linked down below. And then I finally fulfilled a desire to ride the UK's toughest sportive, the Fred Whitton Challenge. A fearsome, grueling, tough day on the bike, but we had amazing weather. I had amazing company from the people I rode with, and just the general atmosphere on the road was superb. And despite the pain in my legs from the hard rock pass, one of the most brutal climbs, which amazingly I managed to ride up without stopping, I had an amazing day. Definitely an event to put on your calendar, especially if you're UK based. And it wouldn't be a summer without a bike packing adventure. And myself, Chris and Craig rode the Trans-Cambrian Way, an off-road route across the width of Wales in 2.5 days on our gravel bike, and had an amazing time. Amazing weather, amazing trails, amazing scenery, and just a fantastic time. And just proves that bikepacking is probably the best form of cycling. Escape, adventure, just a great time on a bike. No racing, no suffering, just a great time. Just what cycling for me is all about. Gravel in terms of bikes and racing and events and bikepacking had a big year in 2022 and proved it definitely isn't a fad, and it's definitely here to stay. For me, I took part in some great gravel events, and my highlight was the Grinduro, or Grinduro, however you pronounce it, in Wales back in the summer. Done it before, but this year was the best ever. An amazing event, amazing people, amazing atmosphere, and an amazing course as well. It definitely pushes a gravel bike to its limits, but I'm thankful I was on a front suspension gravel bike. But the reaction I had there from people who know the channel, and seeing how people are embracing gravel and riding on any bike, from a mountain bike to a proper gravel bike to a CX modified race bike, proves that gravel is a scene that definitely captures the imagination of so many people. And it doesn't matter what bike or kit you're wearing, it's just about riding the bikes on amazing trails and having a great time. And I definitely want to do more gravel events in 2023, and let me know what I should put on my calendar by leaving a comment down below. And then finally, 2 other big highlights for me in 2022. Personally, buying a VW Transporter was a long-held ambition, and it has been a fantastic 12 months with it. It's perfect for getting out and filming, riding a bike in amazing locations, and taking the dog and all the bikes and filming equipment with me. And the second is more professionally, almost hitting 100,000 subscribers on my channel. I've only been doing this for 2 years now, but the growth has been phenomenal. I couldn't do it without your support. So thank you so much to everybody who's been watching these videos, liking, commenting and subscribing. It means so much to me. And here's to 2023, hopefully bigger and better than ever before. Anyway, don't forget, at the end of the day, it's all about just riding a bike. So I'll leave you with that and have a great new year.